Hey Tigers, it's Brittany Bryson with the Student Health and Counseling Center, and I'm here to talk to you on Pay It Forward Friday about kindness in times of crisis. So we're going to talk about 5 things that help us remain kind and also how to be kinder to the folks who are around us and maybe are even a little bit farther away from us. So the first thing we look at is how to focus on things we can control. Now, at the same time, maybe it feels like the things that we can control got a little bit smaller because we are having to isolate, because we are having to stay in certain places, or maybe if you're essential, maybe you're still running around. There's just not a lot of things you used to do that you can't do anymore. So maybe we need to figure out what you can control. Maybe even make a list of it. Make a comparison list on the things that maybe you're feeling some grief about loss that you don't have control over anymore, that you thought you did and now that you don't. Getting an idea on things that are manageable for you helps you figure out, honestly, going into number 2, which is making priorities or reestablishing your priorities. When you don't have as much stuff going on in your life, maybe some priorities of yours are different. Maybe some goals you had before are a little altered because your access to things is different. So we're taking control and then we're reevaluating our priorities to make sure that they match what we have going on for ourselves now. Once we have that new priority list, we have a new plan to make. So once we make this plan, whether it's to figure out how to make home a place you can work and live from, whether it's making a plan to, just because we have a lot going on in the outside of the world doesn't mean you can't go outside. So making sure you have some days where you're spending in the sun, in the backyard, or taking a walk, still being mindful of social distancing, 6 feet, just to make sure you're safe and those around you are safe too. So once you've figured out what you have control over, you've realigned your priority list, you've made your new plan, let's talk about taking care of yourself. And what that really means to you and what that means in this environment now. So taking care of yourself can be several different things as far as your self-soothing plan, whether it's hygienic or the things we're eating, the things we're watching, but also a boundary plan. And sometimes it's a little bit odd maybe having boundaries in your own home, but also having a separate space where you work, separate space from where you rest. So if you have an office space or a space where you can work from at a table, making that specifically work. Try not to work if you're in your bed if you can help it. Even if you do have to work in your bedroom, see if you can create a space. So, for example, if you have a bed and you're able to sit on the edge of the bed instead of where you rest your head for sleep, so you can make sure your posture is engaged like you would normally be if you were working at a desk or something like that. Okay? And the last thing is maintaining mental flexibility. Again, times are changing and they're changing so fast. We have to figure out how to make sure you're mentally flexible to accommodate all the changes. Rigidity can get in our way. I understand structure is very important to a lot of us. Unfortunately, structure is not something we have a lot of nowadays. So we have to figure out what ways can help us maintain mental flexibility. This kind of goes back to number 1. Our foundation is what we can control. What we can control is maybe has been the same for a long time. Our thoughts, our actions, the way we treat others. That's pretty much the gist of it. What you can control matters. And once you get a handle on that, you'll be able to figure out, hopefully get a better flow, breathe a little bit easier, slow things down for yourself. And once you have a better grasp for yourself, maybe you'll be able to share that with other folks. Whether it's making sure you're checking in on somebody or doing a video call and just smiling at someone, sharing something that was good about your day, even if you just had a yummy bowl of cereal. It does not have to be big. Again, all of this is making us go back to the basics and focus on really small things for our day-to-day. So our kindness can be just listening to someone. It could be just a check-in, see how you're doing. Being extra kind to those folks in the house around you, if you can. Making sure you're giving each other space and time to process the best way you possibly can. And if there's some grace or humility you can give, just giving that, just the extra layer of it, just because. I think we all need it nowadays. And so if you're kind to yourself, hopefully it makes it easy to be kind to others. So I hope you guys continue to turn in on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 1 o'clock for all of our videos. Mindful Mondays, Workshop Wednesdays, and Pay It Forward Fridays. See y'all next time.